Go play Spider-Man. This video contains spoilers. You've been warned. Spider-Man. Ever since everyone was a kid, we've all been fans of you. But I have to admit, I kind of fell out of the fan base for a while. Until now. This game is pretty good. Seriously. Anyways, let's get started. Rexy, play the intro. Rexy? Rexy? Where are you?
Looks like you're not as clever as you thought.
Did you really have to do that? Just to play it. Spider-Man has a very solid story that speaks for itself and can actually be considered a 10 out of 10 if you're forgiveful. However, we don't play that here, so we will fix everything that holds it back from being a masterpiece. When it comes to story problems, they are very few and pretty minute, but they still have to be fixed. The first problem comes early on in the game.
You see, throughout the game, MJ is shown to be a smart cookie by taking pictures of everything as evidence. However, when it comes to this folder right here, she just carries it around.
Having MJ take a picture of the contents of the folder will lead to major changes in the plot, so we can't really have her doing that. What we can do is have her accidentally break her camera in the process of all the commotion. So this pretty much makes her camera unservable, meaning she can't take pictures at all. However, there is a small problem.
She has a phone, but with her primary info gathering device gone, and the danger of being shot by a crazy demon gang, the thought of her phone is blurred out in the back of her mind. And then, after this incident, she can acknowledge she goofed and go, "Dang it!"
The mission where Peter is evicted has serious problems. This includes Spider-Man's identity being exposed and Spider-Man being incriminated.
Maybe there's another way in. It's not really breaking and entering if I don't break anything, right? Okay, no need to panic. Be here, please be here. Yes! Hope it still works.
All you have to do is have Peter move his stuff into Dr. Octavius' lab.
Really glad Doc let me store things here after the whole eviction thing.
And have Peter find a web bomb in the flash drive when he gathers his stuff. Fixed!
Oh yeah, Spider-Man possibly killed this normal dude right here. He carefully subdues everyone, except this guy, who was a bit of a douche, but that doesn't grant him a death ticket. Just web him in a fancy way and be done with it. And for the final story problem, I'm going to let it slide that these two are the only ones that need rescuing because they could have been the ones that made sure everyone got out safely. But MJ coming in at the last minute at some random floor in a random part of that said floor, there's just no way. No amount of suspension of disbelief will make it look good. It's better to change it.
There is a thing between MJ and Peter. We got it. You wanted MJ to say Peter, but look at the size of that building.
Peter, fire and rescue's on the way. I found a fire escape that'll get me...
MJ, stay back! I don't want to have to rescue you too!
Peter, don't be crazy! Wait for help!
Either make the building something like 3 stories high, or let this be one of the many firefighters that were trying to get into the building to save people.
Like I said, nothing too big, but we're a step closer to making Spider-Man into a masterpiece. There's a bunch of things that they got right, like foreshadowing its villains. Nothing is pulled out of thin air and fed to the spectators like other stories.
Wow! Look at this complicated plot! Bam! Retcon! The gameplay is very fun. The swinging is good as suspected, and 0 complaints in the mission variations. There is a lot of fun activities.
Spider-Man has very good quality of characters, with pretty good attention to detail and a great plot structure, as shown with the very few story problems that it has. The quality of the scenes in the game are superb, with flashy things happening constantly. Not much else to say here because they just nailed so many key components. However, there are still plenty of stuff that can be improved that aren't necessarily problems. This may seem silly, but the bags and the amount of them bother me. Call it a nitpick, but what you can't call it is believable. Really? Peter owned 55 bags? Collecting 55 cocoons may not be the ringer, but it makes more sense. Also, add some emotion to this ungrateful sour grapefruit.
Thank you, May, for everything. Here's for many more years of service.
Another thing to improve are these missions. They are very annoying at times. We would prefer to be close to these characters through cutscenes, not stealth missions.
Tension breaker, right. You know, this is exactly why we broke up.
I thought we broke up so you could focus on your career.
We broke up because you wouldn't stop treating me like a baby. Don't do this, MJ. Don't do that, MJ. Oh, that's too dangerous, MJ. I may not have super spider powers, but I'm not made out of glass.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You kept going to dangerous places, and he got worried, so he told you not to go to said dangerous places, and you get mad about it?
Yeah! It's not like he's asking for something unreasonable like always grab paper with gloves on so you don't get paper cuts.
Standish said the demons are looking for something at GCT. But what could they possibly need here? Should probably call Peter and let him know what I'm doing. Actually, scratch that. He'd probably just tell me to go home and chain myself to my laptop.
No, you should be chained to better writing, Miss Little Watson. The only reason you're surviving these dangerous places is because the writers decided to give you massive plot armor. She can still go and do all of this, but don't complain when the one that loves you worries for a normie like you.
Pow! First and final warning. Stay out of our way.
Yeah, that will teach him.
Why does everyone seem to get dumb villain syndrome when it comes to a golden opportunity like this?
Well, you see, Otto didn't want Spidey to be involved, so he actually gave him a chance to go away.
If that's the case, throwing him off the building isn't gonna make him stay out of it. What could have made Spider-Man stay out of the situation, potentially, although of course he would have still came back and defeated them all, was for Doc Ock to stab him right here, right there, on the side with this tentacle thing. And there, Doc spared him by crippling Spider-Man, so he doesn't try to intervene.
Also, make Spider-Man land on some rubble. Here he's drowning half the time on this thing.
I am saying we should not rush off without a plan.
We? You are staying here. The anti-serum's ready, and I'm going to supervise production.
You will be completely vulnerable without me.
I seem to be completely vulnerable with you. I'm going alone. End of discussion.
How did they think this was a good idea? He's the target, not her. Oh, easy fix. Just have him oppositely say, "Fine, be ready." This confirms that she will be coming with him.
She can go on a separate helicopter. Then Lee can come out of nowhere, blast Silver's helicopter, and she goes like 5 miles away from here. Another thing, who thought this was a good scene? Who approved it? Look at it. Silver would have clearly seen MJ at that angle and that position. Do this instead and have Silver be part of the level. Let us shock her and she can get back up, constantly more furious every time you do it. Spidey can still tag along for the ride since Miles still needs to be bit.
Okay, so this is pretty much having Metallica show up to your birthday party, but then they don't play anything.
So yeah, you made a choice that writers don't often choose. Except the edgy ones that kill off everyone at the end. You essentially retired May in a way she wasn't expecting. And that's fine, but we don't really get to see the impact of this loss. The literal next scene is of the funeral, and then Peter being happy with MJ eating fries and kissing. You made a powerful scene, and then you didn't utilize it.
Sit down, because we are going to change quite a bit in the story.
So, when Spider-Man beats Martin Lee, he takes the anti-serum as he did in the game.
But when he hears Dr. Ock coming, he tosses the anti-serum to Dr. Michaels, so nothing happens to it while they fight.
Spider-Man proceeds to get his butt whooped, and this is where Dr. Michaels comes in.
When Octavius goes up and asks for the anti-serum, Dr. Michaels tosses it to him without a second thought. Octavius commends him for being a smart man, while Norman wonders why he did that.
Doc Ock takes Norman with the anti-serum, but wait, Dr. Michaels gives him a fake anti-serum.
Boom!
Then everything up to here can happen normally, but instead of Peter leaving here, this scene happens where he has to make a choice. May retires, and this adds a whole new level of emotion to the last fight.
This utilizes May's death in a proper way.
Doc Ock can still do his plan since he thinks he actually has the anti-serum, and Peter is just there to beat him up.
All of this will feel so much emotional if Peter has just lost May and he had to fight his hero.
Also, could you please fix this dialogue?
You meant so much to me! I hate that you're making me do this! You can't just have your characters announce how they feel! That makes me feel angry!
Wow, we did it. The very first story that we turned into a masterpiece.
Can we rest now?
No.
Red boy.